What was the question?
I lost my virginity in college.
And I thought I was the oldest virgin on the planet at 23.
And I remember just wanting to get it over with.
I'm sitting here just going like, I can't give this away. All my friends had been, you know, off the virgin wagon for quite a while, and I was the last of the few.
I was really into this guy.
I met her in high school.
Him and I had been dating for a few months.
And he knew someone I knew, so not a murderer.
And she went to a private school that was also in our town. I went to the public school.
We were friends first.
Which made me feel somehow safe.
He was the one that kind of showed up for me in dark times.
I was totally in love.
So I was like, well, why not?
Both of us called in sick to school that day.
I drove to the place he worked.
We had been smoking pot. I don't think there was LSD involved, but it's questionable.
And he took me back to his place, and we just, you know, we started making out.
There was this Maxwell music playing in the background, very soothing. I'm going, oh man, she's got the grooves, you know?
Then the sexy town happened.
And I was like, it's time.
It was kind of like, okay.
This is game time. This is about to happen.
It's like, hey, do you have a condom? Do you want to bring this further? And he was like, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I knew what went where, sort of, but I wasn't really sure, like what we were supposed to do with that.
Before I knew it, the lights were off and like his shirt was off. So then we're just both there naked. Like, what do we do next? Or at least I thought, you know, what do I do next?
And he said, you know you can shave down there. And I was like, oh no, like my life is over. And then we still had the sex. There was very little foreplay.
I just remember it entering and like feeling his penis for the first time within me, and I'm like, oh my God.
Ouch! Take it out! Take it out!
What is this? Why do people do this? What is happening?
And it hurt so bad, I immediately started crying.
And as he was mid-pump, I think I awkwardly mumbled, this is my first time.
You know, like not to get graphic, but like
I ended up on top for our first time.
my limbs were places and being stretched in places that like I didn't want them to be stretched to.
As I got older, I was like, wow, that was like an advanced move.
It was
About 3 minutes.
5 or 6 thrusts.
Horrible.
Now knowing what I know about sex, that was a very, very fast encounter.
Very anticlimactic.
And then right after, I hear my cousin downstairs screaming in Mandarin.
So we rushed to put clothes on.
And all of a sudden, like, registers like, oh shit, my parents are home.
I had to leave.
We got in my car and I was driving, and I like was so distracted in my head of like, that just happened? Like, I ran 2 red lights on the way home. My friends were like freaking out.
When it happened, I was like, oh my God, I've been lied to. Sex is awful.
Why does anyone do this? This is the most uncomfortable, most painful experience of my life.
Didn't feel great.
Like, oh, I can't handle sex. I can't, my vagina just isn't built for sex.
But there was also a little bit of a victory.
When it was over, I felt this sense of relief, like I did it.
Finally joining the ranks of adulthood. I'm not being left behind. I like had the biggest smile on my face.
I was no longer afraid of like what it was.
I wouldn't have changed anything about it. It was great, it was amazing, it was wonderful.
I remember telling my roommate.
I'm a part of womanhood.
She was underwhelmed, and I just kept thinking like, I did it.
And my best friend still, to this day, has no idea that I lost my virginity in his bed.
And that's how it happened.